Okay, the final end of this story, uh, in Lithuania, our neighbor, she was illiterate. So my mom used to get letters from her. Her brother lived in Waterbury, Connecticut, in the United States. He got there in 1905, and so my mom was translating, and writing letters back and forth and all that stuff. So when we were in the camps, and stuck, not knowing. Oh yeah, by the way, with the camps, pretty soon some nations say we'll take some of these. Belgium, we need some coal miners.
Right.
Britain, Great Britain took some people, and then pretty soon Canada saying we need some people to do the work. So some of the refugees slowly start filtering to different countries, from Brazil to Australia to you name it. These people. So my mom wrote a letter, and she happened to remember fractionally Waterbury Con, C-O-N, Waterbury Con, and his name, and 12 John Street or something like that. She happened to remember. So she wrote him a letter to this Staskaviches. Wrote a letter that we knew his brother was killed by the Russians. There were a bunch of farmers just massacred with no reason at all, and it was close to our town. And they recognized, identified that was his brother that was killed. So my mom wrote him a letter saying, we are, neighbor of your sister, who left. She was in Lithuania. We didn't know what happened to her, but they stayed in Lithuania. But anyway, she wrote the letter. Here's the situation, all of that. And this guy was. He didn't even go to high school, but he made it good during the Repression, and he owned a bakery in Waterbury, Connecticut. Brooklyn Baking Company, they call it, that stuff. So anyway, he writes back. He said, thanks for the information. He says, you guys, done good. You start sending our packages and all that stuff. And we were the big dudes in camp, we got a package of, all kind of good stuff, and the ham, and the, canned hams and all of that stuff. And he was, doing, helping us with that. Then one day he says, in 1948, President Truman passed the Displaced Persons Refugee Act that allowed 200,000 refugees to be admitted to the United States. Up to that was a quota. In other words, you could not there for 100 years. But he wrote that thing, went through Congress, got that bill, basically for the Baltics, and also there were quite a few Jewish people up there.
Mm-hmm.
So they wrote that bill to allow us. So this sponsor of ours writes a letter. He says, how would you like to come to the United States? Wow. You talking about